This PowerPoint is going to be about resume and cover letters, two of the most vital pieces of documentation that you're going to have for applying to a job. The purpose is to get you an interview, not the job, by communicating your knowledge, skills, and values. Common resume mistakes are typos, using words inappropriately, not conveying job roles appropriately. Don't get too creative, you want to exhibit professionalism. Style and format, you're going to use font size of 10 to 12, even margins such as 0.5 inch to 1 inch. Font style is going to be Times New Roman, Calibri, or Arial. You don't want to use any other font styles just because it's a little hard to read in a resume format. Style and format, you're going to want to use paper colors such as white, ivory, light gray. Use resume paper. It is free in the Career Services office in Massey 124. Please come in and we can actually print them off for you if you'd like. The first style that we're going to talk about for resumes is chronological. It's going to have the most recent experience to the least recent experience. That's the order that in the format it's going to go. 75 to 80%, I'd say, of employers prefer the chronological style. Here's an example of a chronological resume. Next, we're going to talk about the functional resume, the second resume style. It's for individuals that are going to be leaving a career or doing a career change, something different from what their experience is in. Here's an example of a functional resume. Here you're going to want to highlight specific skills needed for the job that you also have. Here's an example of the third resume style, which is a combination resume style. It's where you've got experience in skills and in the job that you're applying for, and it's related to the position. Here's an example of a combination style. You want to make sure that you include contact information such as your full name, your email address, and your phone number. Your optional information is going to be your address, another phone number, and your URL address. So you don't have to include the numbers in your address. You can just say Portsmouth, Ohio, or city and state. You do want to include your LinkedIn, though, also. And then there's specific program needs for things to be added, such as like GitHub for certain majors and ArtStation for other majors and portfolio sites. Those are good to include in your title. The objective is a optional also header that you can use. It helps employers they use your objective to determine where you might fit within their department or organization. Here's some examples of some headings that you can use inside your resume. Here's a skills statements cheat sheet. So your action word plus your contribution. These are things that you're going to want to include in your resume also. Here's an example of what not to do. So you see where they've got the bartender, where it's at, and how long they were there. The only problem is that they have made the action verb in the description extremely short. So they've said mixed drinks, stock bar, order supply, something very short and sweet. And employers don't tend to like that. Here's an example of what you should do. See where they've used action verbs saying assist, troubleshoot, problem, and hire. You want to make sure you use those action verbs. Proving your effectiveness. So you want to describe what you actually did in the job and include what impact and contribution that you had and provide details. Here's using action verbs. So here's some examples again of how to use action verbs inside of your resume with duties, your job duties. And here's a sample reference page. This is a good reference page that you can go off of. So they've got the person, where they were employed at, who are they with, the address, the phone number, and the email address. So increasing effectiveness. Make sure that your resume is pretty error-free. You want to avoid items that promote negative bias. Use abbreviations only if standard and well known. You kind of want to stay away from abbreviations and acronyms so people will understand what you're talking about. Cover letters. You want to include the purpose. So express your intent, interest, and enthusiasm in the position. You want to complement and emphasize your highlights of your resume and demonstrate your personality. Your cover letter is going to consist of 3 paragraphs. Your first paragraph is going to talk about where you're going to state your position that you're applying for and how you found out about the organization or the position. And then you're going to express what is attracting you to that job and that organization. And you're also going to talk about some of the qualifications. You're going to arouse the reader's interest in reading more about your qualifications. Your second paragraph is going to be the bulk of your cover letter. So your second paragraph is going to be a lot lengthier than your first and third paragraph. It's going to include detailed information about how your qualifications fit the position, and you're going to use keywords from your job ad. So you're going to use the minimum qualifications and the experiences from your job ad that they're asking for and incorporate it into this second paragraph. And then you're going to include information about academics, job experience, personal attributes relevant to that position. The third paragraph, you're going to summarize your qualifications, and you're going to refer the reader to your enclosed resume and mention your interest in an interview and thank them for taking their time to read your cover letter. Here's an example of a cover letter. Here's another example of a cover letter.
Visit SSUcareers.com and click on the Contest tab to take an online quiz by 5 p.m. on Friday, September 11, 2020, and you'll be entered into a drawing to receive a $25 Amazon gift card.